think so. Let's go and have some adventures. Let's go and have some adventures with Thomas. Let's go and have some adventures. Sodor's a fun place to be. Sodor's greatest adventures. Sodor's greatest adventures.
It was a busy day on the island of Sodor. All the engines were working hard, hauling freight and passengers like any day. However, there was trouble in the yards and Napford, and it was Thomas and James. You think you're always the important best engine at everything, Thomas, said James. Huh, said Thomas. That was a long time ago. You still act like that, though, said James. Huh, said Thomas. I may have been cheeky back then, James, but at least I was much more useful than you. Much more useful than me, said James. You may have more experience about branch lines, little Thomas. Hey, that's what Gordon calls me. Whatever, said James. Besides, I have a branch line now. I even a rescue engine, even poured the mail, even got my own brakeman, my own coaches. Huh, said Thomas. Sounds like you have too many things to do. This made James cross. I have you know, said James, that I got awarded with this branch line, the Crone's Gate branch line. These I work along with like Ivor, for example, Queen Rachel, or being Aiden, even in our gaze engines. Thomas just rolled his eyes. And another thing, said James, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't rescue you out of that field. The same field that I rescued you in, said Thomas. What, said James? Well, you're the reason why I got the branch line. Huh, well, I was the reason how I got my own branch line, said Thomas, when I rescued you. James groaned. Don't remind me when I got stuck in that field. Huh, I had to go and get Julie and Jerome to get you out, said Thomas. I did the same thing, said James. Huh, said Thomas, you must have been jealous of me. Probably because I was such a fast engine to keep up with. I may not have stopped you, but I was fast getting you and Jerome and fast to keep up with you. Fast as me? You're never fast as me, said James. I am always the fastest, like the fastest red engine on Sodor. Then how come you didn't beat me when we raced the wharf on time? The time when I found Great Waterton. Huh, said James. Well, at least I went around the world with you and Ace, and you did have that race with Argo and Ace in Australia, said Thomas. You were there too, said James. At least I wasn't racing, said Thomas. Oh, I suppose you can't remember when you raced Bertie then. Then, for the first time, the two of you kept racing and racing, even when you took that shortcut one time. Thomas groaned. This made me even more angry. Well, at least I wasn't used to be a show-off. That was a long time ago, said James. I'm no longer a show-off. I may do it sometimes here and there, like I did with that race with Rosie, but that was a long time ago. I have changed, including him when we left Gordon's side. Huh, I suppose Gordon can't get over that. Hey, said James. And besides, said Thomas, you may have beaten Rosie, but you still helped her. Well, said James, she's my friend. Henry may be my best friend, but Rosie's one of my closest friends. Don't we all know, said Thomas. Thomas and James kept arguing and arguing. Edward puffed into the yards. He heard the arguing and knew there was only one thing for it. He blew his whistle. That's enough, you two, said Edward. But orders called back to some action stuff or anything like that is not helping you get over your defeat on the two of yous. All you gotta do with this Edward, said James. Like, me and Thomas were just talking about the past, and we're just trying to agree on who's the fastest. Yeah, said Thomas. I did beat the bus before. And I did beat the little red tank engine who used to be pink, said James. Arguing is not going to get you to the stop, isn't it? There's only one way we can settle this. A race. Thomas and James looked at each other. We did have a race before, you know, said James. Yes, said Thomas, to the wall for the narrow gauge engines, and I won that race. Until Duncan sent you down that old bridge that you almost fell off, said James. I still can't get over that, said Thomas. Duncan will still have to pay for that. Maybe he did the right thing doing that. At least it'll prove that I am faster. At least that track did lead me to Great Waterton, said James. You never stop boasting. You used to boast. You look like you're boasting now. That's enough, said Edward. As I was saying, I don't mean the two of you should race to the wharf. I am suggesting you could race to maybe like... Oh, I don't know. Well, said Edward. Maybe. Yes, said Two Engines. How about to Ellsbridge? Ellsbridge Yards, where those sheds are, can be the winner's circle. You start here in Knapford, and you race all the way to Ellsbridge. But you do have to pass Bertie's shed, Henry's tunnel, Titmuss station, and all that other stuffs. Thomas and James looked at each other. It's settled, they said. That's good, said Edward. Now, go to platform 1 and 2 and we can start the race. As Two Engines puffed away, Edward knew his plan was coming together. Thomas and James went to platform 1 and 2. Now fail, said James. I should be on platform 1. Oh, is this going to be like when Gordon and Spencer argued when they got their coaches mixed up? Said Thomas. Whatever, said James. That probably won't even happen to me. Oh, said Thomas. I still remember when I raced Spencer and you lost to him, said James. Thomas groaned. And Edward backed down to platform 3. Now, you two, he said. Remember, whoever gets to Ellsbridge first is the winner. Got it? Yes, Edward, they said. That's good. And with that, with a toot of Edward's whistle, so the Two Engines raced off. As they found out our Knapford. See, said Edward, but problem solved. Just then, Emily leaped up onto platform 4. But the coaches. There was 4 workmen inside. Oh, said Edward. What's with all those workmen? All right, lads, said the leader of the workmen. That's a fine job done today. Tomorrow we'll head back to that bend near Ellsbridge and get that bend sorted. Edward was surprised. Oh no, a bend, he said. What bend, if may I ask, said Edward to the workmen. Why, there's a bend that's damaged, which is pretty sharp, so no fast engines can go around it, like Rebecca, Spencer, or Gordon, for example. Pause. Or even some engines like Toyertoysyt or something like that. Not even slower engines who are going very fast. Why, it's all racing? Said Edward. Of course not, he said. Well, see you, Edward, said the workman, as they went off. Edward steamed out of platform 3. I must find Thomas and James immediately, he said. Meanwhile, Thomas and James were speeding down the line. They went past Bertie's shed, but they were on the other side, of course. They switched tracks back to normal tracks as they raced down the main line. I am going to win, said James. He sped in front. Thomas smiled. Oh, no, you don't, James. I am number 1. And I'm number 5, said James. Red is fast. Besides, I have nameplate and you don't. Not even other same team members besides Spencer. Oh, yes, said Thomas. Well, said Thomas, at least I'm not only family member, but who's you. I have been the family members for a while, said James. At least I'm not the one who has nameplates. What? Okay, that's it. You're going with the limit, Mr. Blue One. You're going with the limit too, said Thomas. It's fine. More speed. James raced off, but Thomas was catching up. I beat the James before, said Thomas, and I can do it again. As two of them went on the bends near Henry's tunnel. The two of them sped into the tunnel and came out the other side. But Thomas and James were pretty much at the full speed. There may not be the fastest engines on Sodor. The two of them were pretty much at the same speed. Come on, said James. I have more cold water than this. And Thomas, I gotta get ahead of him, he said. Oh, no, you don't, said Thomas, and he took the lead. Oh, said James. Thank you, said James. Oh, no, you don't, said Thomas. They went round the bend at Titmuss Station and past the Titmuss Station, one of the main stations on Thomas's branch line. Now they were back on the normal main line. The two engines were getting close to Ellsbridge, but then there was trouble. There was a signal in front of them. Then it turned red. Thomas and James saw and applied their brakes. Father, they said, I can finish the race now. You could cheat, said Thomas. Well, said Jane. We can overpass the signal, you know. Are you just putting on your rescue ranger skills into action? Said Thomas. Said James. Forget it. Just then they heard a bell. It was Toby. He was just coming from Thomas's branch line. Oh, come on, said the two engines. They were waiting for Toby to pass for Henrietta. Oh, hello, you two, said Toby. The sun turned green, and the two engines took the bend where it goes down to the harbour on Thomas's branch line. Oh, said Toby. The two of them are racing off steam today. I wonder where they're racing off to. Oh, I hope they do okay. I hope they're not racing, said Henrietta. Those workmen have to work on that bend near Ellsbridge tomorrow. And I'm sorry to say Henrietta was wrong. The bend near Ellsbridge was in sight. James and Thomas already went over the bridge down at the harbour on Thomas's branch line, where Thomas took Trevor one time, and Toby and Percy helped Thomas to build it, and Howard would used to stay when he and Percy had that race. Down the line, Percy and Henry were there. They were just dropping off some more supplies and picking up some supplies for the band. They didn't know that Thomas and James were coming down the line. They were in two sidings. These sidings were built ages ago to help in case there's a runaway on this part of the track. I'm glad there's sidings on this line, said Percy. If we hadn't just a runaway. Yes, said Henry. I just hope nobody's racing down here, like what Thomas and James used to. Oh, do you mean the time when they were racing to the wharf? Yes, said Henry. And wasn't that the same day Thomas found Great Wallerton? I believe so, said Percy. See, well, he took those logs, and I heard Duncan made him go the wrong way. Oh, I suppose that Scottish engine is just like Donald and Douglas, said Henry. But anyways, wait, I don't think the two of them have raced in ages. I hope they're not today, since this bend is being under construction, and it's very sharp. I know, said Percy. Let's just hope, but then the two of them heard two whistles. Oh no, said James. That sounds like James' whistle. That sounds like Thomas's whistle. But indeed it was. The two engines raced past their best friends. Hi, Percy, said Thomas. Hi, Anne, said James. The two of them raced by. Henry and Percy were surprised. Stop, James! Stop, Thomas, said Percy. The two of them blew the whistle as loud as they could. What are they on about? Said Thomas. No time for that, said James. We're almost at Ellsbridge. We must get into the yards and win this race. And I know I will win. No, I will win, said Thomas. The two of them went round the bend, but then there was trouble. They struck a sharp bend. The two of them knew they'd have to stop, or else the high speeds would derail them. Brakes, they said. The two of them quickly put the brakes on hard as they can and try and slow down as they can. But then there was trouble. James started toppling over, including Thomas. Come on, I can save us, said Thomas. Whoa, said James. James' wheels came off and he hit Thomas and crashed off the rails. Luckily, the farmers and drivers were out just in time, but James and Thomas were derailed. James was on Thomas's wheels and Thomas was on his side. Luckily, the two engines didn't hit Ellsbridge, the platform near to it. But the two of them were definitely in bad condition. Henry and Percy came down the line. As they went slow as they could, they left their trucks back in the sidings. They saw Thomas and James. Are you two okay? Said Henry. We're fine, said Thomas. There goes my lovely paintwork. However happened to be a rescue engine head? James, said Henry. Whatever happened to you being a rescue engine? Oh, said James. I hope the faculty doesn't suspend me like he did with Emily. Oh well, said Percy. I suppose so you two didn't hear about this. Just then, Edward came round the corner. No, well, it's not. Oh no, said Edward. I was too late. What was it? Said Thomas and James. I saw Emily pointing to Napa with a couple of workmen, and they said this bend of track was being rebuilt, or repaired, I suppose, because of the sharp bend, right? Yes, said Henry. Me and Percy been working here all day with Emily. Yes, said Percy, and we just bring some supplies here and back. What happened? The tree engineer explained. Oh. Don't worry. Henry, Percy, can you two look after Thomas and James? Of course, said Henry. We're their best friends, said Percy. Good. I will go and fetch Rocky immediately. And I suppose I will collect the fat controller. It's best if you do. Said Henry. You two are definitely in big trouble. Edward gulped. Actually, it might be the tree. Well, let's go and get him, said Henry. Edward puffed away. Soon, Henry and Percy made some room for Edward and Rocky. Other engines nearby took their trucks away. Thomas and James were still felt guilty of what they'd done. Just then, Edward puffed him with Rocky. Rocky saw the crash. Oh no! Oh my, he said. The two of you have done some world damage. Indeed, the part of this track, said a voice. The fat controller stepped out of Edward's cab. He was not happy. After all the work Emily, Henry, and Percy been doing, while Emily was bringing workmen and Henry and Percy bringing supplies down here, the two of you have to cause damage to this part of the track. Now this will have to take longer than I expected. Sorry, sir, said the two engines. Oh, I should have put up some warning signs. I thought the two of you knew about this. Well, we told every engine we could find, sir, said Henry. Yes, sir, said Percy. We did. I'm not going to blame the you two for this, said the Fat Controller, but I am blaming Thomas and James. The two of you should not have that stupid race of yours, proving who is to be the best. For that, the two of you can stay in your sheds. Just then, before the Fat Controller can say anything else about Thomas and James, Epis spoke up. No, sir, please, don't put them in those sheds. The Fat Controller turned around to Edward. What do you mean, Edward? But Edward gulped. It's not their idea, they told this race. It was mine. The Fat Controller was surprised. You taught this race? That's not like you, Edward. I'm sorry, sir, said Edward. I just wanted the two of them to try to settle their problems. But I didn't know about the band until Emily pulled those Workmen and Natford. The Fat Controller was cross. You better be thankful you told me just now, or else I will keep these two in their sheds. Yes, sir, said Edward. The Fat Controller turned back to Thomas and James. So look, the two of you went with Edward's idea, eh? Maybe putting you in your sheds won't be that thing. Then the Fat Controller had an idea. Once you two are repaired, you two can help rebuild this part of the line. Including you, Edward, since you were with this thing. Yes, sir, said Edward. The Fat Controller turned to Henry and Percy. Percy, I want you to be in charge of the branch line while Thomas is working here. Yes, sir, said Percy. And Henry, you can do the rest of your main line work. So that way, none of the other engines have to do your work. Yes, sir, said Henry. And I will tell Emily that she can do the rest of her work as well. Well, as for you, Thomas, James, and Edward, like I said, the two of you are going to repair this part of the line once you two are fixed. Yes, sir, said Thomas and James. Rocky, get this mess cleaned at once. Yes, sir, said Rocky, and Rocky got to work immediately. Meanwhile, at the steamworks, Kevin and Victor were busy. How long will the repairs take, Victor? Said James. Don't worry, my friend, said Victor. The damage is serious, but me and Kevin should have you two back in working order soon. It won't take that long, just maybe a couple of days, and the two of you should be spanking brand new again, my friends. Just then, Percy, Henry, and Edward popped into the steamworks. How the two of you, said Henry. Still felt very sorry for what we did. Hey, said Kevin, we all learn from our mistakes, don't we? Like the time when I went out in the snow and Victor had to go and find me, and then you had to go and find him, Thomas. Yes, I remember that. And don't worry, you two, we all learn from our mistakes. Yes, said Victor, like when I was trying to fix all of you at the same time, when the Fat Controller needed Gordon for a special job, and I made steamworks a complete mess, even when Harry and Bert was here before the diesel works was found. I even made a mistake when I fell into the ocean one time, said Percy, when I told the trucks to push me over that board. Even I made a mistake, said Henry. Like the time when I, said Henry, thought that the rain would spoil my lovely green paint, and after the Fat Controller shut me in that tunnel of mine, I didn't learn my lesson until I was brought out again by Gordon busting a safety valve. You see, said Henry, you two are not the only engines that make a mistake. We all make mistakes. Like when I thought I can pour a pasta train and a goods train for the first time, said Thomas. Yes, Sir Percy, you made those mistakes. And I thought I knew how to pull a past Sir Troy one time with Edward. Would, would. Indeed, said Edward, as he puffed in. Even on my branch line, said James, like the time when I think I didn't need to wear my snowplow and I got stuck in the snow with Obi and Nathan, and Henry would come and help me. You see, said Edward, that we all made mistakes from the past and present, no matter what month or year or day it is. Even I made some mistakes, said Edward. Like the time when I think Rocky was not useful, or the time when I let that runaway coconut train go down Golden Hill and it smashed into you and Percy to bring Rocky. Oh yes, said James, I remember that. But that was my fault though, not yours, said Edward. So you see, just because we made a mistake doesn't mean we're all going to be sent away. Like when that happened to like Diesel a few times when he first came and caused trouble for all of us, especially Duck. You're right, said Thomas. We all learn from our mistakes. Indeed, my friends, said Victor. Now, once two you are mended, the two of you should be in working order again. Me and Kevin will just go and get those parts. Yes, boss, said Kevin. Thomas and James spoke to each other. I'm sorry for what happened, said Thomas. Miss, you definitely aren't the fastest. Besides, you did beat Rosie. No, said James. I'm sorry. You're definitely much faster than me, Thomas. Like, you beat Bertie, you beat me racing to the wharf. You have beaten me loads of time. You have beaten everyone loads of time, especially Bertie. Or maybe when you beat it while we were in Brazil. Ooh, or even when you won the shunting contest at the Great Railway Show. Well, that wasn't really a race. Still, said James. Thomas chuckled. I suppose we all do learn from our mistakes. Indeed, said Edward. Now, once the two of you are mended, you two and I would get that line sorted and make sure to show the factory that we are not just silly engines. Thomas and James couldn't agree more. We're glad the two of you are back have stopped arguing, said Henry. Yes, said Percy, or else we'd think this could go on forever. Kevin and Victor came back. We have bought some brand new parts, he said. Now, who wants to get fixed first? Thomas and James smiled. It can be your choice, Victor, they said. All right then, let's start on James. He might be the hardest one, actually. Yes, boss, said Kevin, and he got to work. All the engines do know from mistakes, not just engines, even us humans. Thomas, James, and Edward, they got that line repaired near Ellsbridge, and that line didn't cause trouble again. Everyone does make mistakes, and I think Thomas and James have done a good deal about racing. But who definitely won that race? Was it Thomas or James? Well, there was no winner actually. But I think two of them won't be racing for a long while. Don't you?